Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the Speak Up Erica podcast. I'm your host, Erica, and this podcast talks about things that we're scared to talk about but should. Welcome to part one, and my guests are Edline and Charlene. Woo! Hi. Welcome
Hello.
back. Hello.
Hello.
Yay. This is our first threesome episode together.
Triple
So-
Sweeties episode.
Yeah. The reason why, so we call ourselves Triple Sweeties, and that's like our group chat name. And the reason why we chose that was because one time, I think this is when we were like, I was 16 and Edwin and Char were probably like 14 or
We
something.
were really
which is kind of
young.
just kind of disgusting. But anyways, we were all chilling
Yeah.
on the beach, lying down and shit. And then some guys passed by us and they're like, okay, Triple Sweeties. And we're dying. So we just took our name. Yeah. It was just funny.
Yeah, it's pretty
Yeah.
funny to
It's
think
funny
about
that
how
it
gross
stuck.
that is.
Right? Kind of nasty. But it's kind of like borderline harassment, but
Yeah.
anyways.
Minors.
Yeah.
Don't do that, even though
Yeah.
it stuck with us for a very long time.
Yeah.
I know.
So our topic today is going to be surviving COVID, and we've all survived COVID.
We did do it.
Yeah, so that's what we're gonna chat about today. But before I get started, I know people probably know who you two are, but if you want to just say a little bit about that, about who both of you are. Char?
Yeah, so my name is Charlene. I'm Erika and Edlin's cousin. I'm not really on social media anymore, which is kind of weird,
Yeah.
but it's funny that I'm here now.
Yeah.
And then I've just been working and I'm just trying to get through this pandemic.
Yes, I feel that.
Same.
Yeah.
Well, I am Edlin. I'm Erica's sister and Charlene's cousin. I
Wait, you're
am
her cousin?
current- What?
I'm just joking. What?
I was a bit confused.
I was like, you're a cousin?
That's my
And-
cousin.
That's my cousin.
I feel like I was here on the podcast recently, so go watch those ones if you haven't. In this one, I'm gonna try to not say like so much. I feel like I'm like self-aware. I'm gonna try not to. I'm excited to be here.
Yeah, Edlin and Char have been on previous episodes before. I think Char and I did siblings, an episode on siblings, which is funny.
Mhm.
And then Edlin and I did an episode on fear and an episode of what it's like growing up Asian. But I do have a first question. Gonna be kind of COVID related, but during COVID, what's your go-to outfit?
But, ooh.
Yeah.
Mine probably ended up being just either a really big hoodie or a really big t-shirt and shorts. That's
Yeah.
it. Or a
Yeah.
robe, a fluffy robe.
Nice. Yeah.
For us, like it was kind of different because we weren't at home. We were like at our aunt's house, so I was like living out of that suitcase. So the only thing, like I wish I had like I got this what's it called? Like the big hoodie onesie thing.
Oh my
Oh,
god.
right.
Yeah, like I wish I had that, but
The
I didn't.
Huggy?
Yeah, like
is
I forget what it's called.
Oh, that would have been perfect.
But I didn't have it with me because it was like too thick to fit inside of the suitcase. But I just wore like a hoodie as well and like leggings. Yeah, like, that was like my go-to.
Yeah.
Well, what about you, Erica?
I feel like I wore like 5 sweaters. Like I wore a crew neck and then a sweater on top of the crew neck and like a t-shirt under all of it, and I just wore
Wow.
my entire suitcase because I was so cold.
Oh my god.
And I would wear like shorts and leggings and sweatpants like all at the same time. And I think I doubled up on socks once too because my feet were so cold.
Oh my
This is
god, I
like-
did not get
yeah.
that.
It was just like fuzzy socks and like winter inside.
All the layers.
Yeah, I think I wore my jacket a couple times too indoors.
Oh my god. I remember
Yeah.
every time we like FaceTimed, you had like your hood on and everything. Like you were bundled
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
It was cold.
I think I had like my blanket wrapped around me too sometimes. Yeah.
Mhm.
But I guess to kick off for the episode, what what was like the I guess the first experience when you were like, "Oh, I think I need to go get tested," and that kind of like beginning journey with all of this, I guess.
I guess I can start because I feel like I was the one that, like, had it first, and then it
Right.
kinda,
Yeah.
like, became, like, a whole train of all of us just, like, getting it. I don't even know, it was, like, the first week of the year, and everything was, like, fine, like, holidays went fine, and then we went tobogganing that weekend, me, Edlin,
Mhm.
and a few of our friends, and I thought I figured I'd be, like, sore, I'd have, like, a headache because, like, we wiped out. So, I was like, "Okay, I'm assuming that, like, I'm gonna be, like, super sore, I'm not gonna be feeling good the next day," and it was cold out, so, like, that's probably gonna be it. And then the Sunday we went on a Saturday, and then the Sunday, I was, like, fine, I was a little sore, I had a headache, but I was like, it makes sense." And then the Monday, I still had it, and I was like, "Oh, weird." But, like, also still made sense, so I was, like, wearing my mask at work still, and, like, I was just like, "Maybe I'm just getting a cold or something from being outside." And then I got tested a couple days later just to be safe because I was like, "Maybe it's just, like" I don't know, I wanna be sure it's a cold if it is a cold, and then I got the results
Mhm.
on the Friday, and that's when I was like, "Oh, like, it's COVID, COVID." And then I realized, like, I did have, like, other symptoms that were, like, not like a usual cold, like, I was getting that stinging in my nose, the cough wasn't going away, and then, yeah, I was at home for the next couple weeks, and that's how I started.
Yeah. Evelyn, did you
And
want to say how you
yeah,
started? Yeah.
I guess I could build off that since it like started from the tobogganing. So when Charlene told me, like we're all like, "Oh shit, like y'all have to get tested just to be safe."
Mhm.
And we were about to start renovations at our house. And I think at this time, like there wasn't like restrictions on renovating your house. So we were like, okay, we're gonna all get tested so then we could go through with the renovations.
Mhm.
So we all got tested like literally the same day or like the same day and the
Friday.
Saturday. Yeah.
Yeah.
And we got our results. Well, we got our results on Monday, and we were all negative. My mom, and my sister, and me, and then we were waiting for my dad's results. And um, at that time, I think it was 9 o'clock, and someone called my dad, and they said like, "Oh, like he's positive." So then since we were all negative and we're like, okay, how are we going to handle this? Me and my sister went to my aunt's house, which her tenant just left. So the house was completely empty. So we're able to go there and just self isolate. And like the reason why we had to leave was because we only had one working washroom. And yeah, so we didn't want to like risk anything. And the whole like weekend while we're waiting for results, we were also like self isolating, like wearing masks in the house and everything like that.
But yeah, I guess I'll trickle into my part next since from Charlene telling Edlin, told me, and like the whole
Mhm.
family. But even before that, I also wanted to bring up like we had so many COVID scares. I think like
Yeah,
Charlene, because Canada Post, man, they just like have issues with how
they
they're
were, like, a big start to, like, a lot, eh?
yeah, they were
Mhm.
pretty much all the reasons of our COVID scares, and I would say even the reason for COVID for maybe our family. I don't know
Your
if
family
Yeah.
for sure, yeah, I
yeah,
don't know how I
Yeah.
got mine still, but yeah,
yeah,
for sure yours.
yeah. So we
Yeah.
had a lot of COVID scares. Like Charlene's dad works at Canada Post and got it from there, and there was just like so many outbreaks happening.
Mhm.
So having to get tested is a stressor in itself because it's like who did I come in contact with, and especially at that time I was taking care of our grandparents,
Mhm.
Mhm.
so they're like 90 plus. and it's obviously they're a high risk. So, yeah, it's just the beginning of that, I guess, is a lot of stress. So hearing it
Mhm.
again, we're just like, oh shit, like again. So we went and
Yeah.
got tested and everything, and yeah, we were spending the whole weekend at self isolating, as Edlin said,
Mhm.
and it was very stressful because you're stressed from infecting other people. You're stressed because we only had one working washroom, and if anyone has ever been in renovations, it's a shit show. Like, yeah, it's just a shit show. And then we were also stressed because, like, you just don't know who in your family would get it. And then we were like, should we get a hotel? Should we get an Airbnb since we only had one
Mhm.
washroom? Like, so, and then we
Yeah.
were almost gonna live with Charlene's dad, which is good that we didn't because then we ended up getting COVID. So
Yeah.
Mhm.
yeah, I would say the beginning part of the journey, as like like Char and Edlin kind of summarize, it yeah, it was just one word: stress.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. You
yeah,
guys got really lucky
Well.
that Tita Mila's place was open though.
right,
Mhm.
right. I know, but apparently they have like a part of a COVID program. You can get free hotel
Oh,
Oh,
I didn't know
really?
that.
because I know some of our friends from New York. I don't want to say names, I guess, because I don't know if like, but anyway, some of our friends in New York had they had the COVID program there, so they are able to stay at a
Is that
hotel to self isolate.
is that only American though? I don't
I
know if
don't
we have
know,
that here.
cause I know one of my friends, like him and his family, were able to stay at like Marriott,
Mhm.
for example, to self isolate from the rest of his family.
Yeah.
So I think it's an option. I think so. I'm
That would
sure
be
if
a
we
really
call the
good
hotel
option.
and ask, yeah,
Mhm.
because they have hotel hotspots, right? I'm
Yeah.
assuming. For,
Yeah.
yeah. But anyway, sorry, I kind of went into a tangent there. Symptoms. Do you want to
Um,
start on symptoms?
well, Charlene kind of already said hers, so
Yeah.
did you want
Was
to
that all
add
of
anything
yours?
or should I?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I just had the cough, which was like the one that lasted the longest probably. I never got a fever, which was so surprising. And then I had my breathing was always fine, besides like the stinging I got in my nose, which was so weird. I think that was like the thing that
Mhm.
like was the oddest to me.
Mhm.
And then I just had headaches and like near the end, I just got like muscle pain in my leg, but otherwise, like I was completely fine. I wasn't like super tired.
Mhm.
My appetite was normal.
Mm.
Um,
Mhm.
I didn't have like the chills or anything like that. Like I feel like I had it very mild and I was surprised because
Yeah.
like I have asthma too. So I was like, that was kind of my thing about like COVID. If I ever got it, I was like, if my breathing gets like messed up, like I feel like it would hit
Compromise.
me hard. But
Mhm.
I think
Yeah.
I definitely had like the mildest of symptoms, at least out of all of us.
Question, did you have a flu shot? Did you get one?
No,
No.
no,
Interesting. Okay.
yeah,
Yeah. You got good
Yeah.
antibodies.
I hope, yeah, maybe.
Yeah. Yeah. Maybe your white blood cells is just up there.
I'm not mad about
Yeah.
it. I'll take it, whatever it means. Yeah,
Yeah.
I made it through pretty well.
For me, I feel like it was a couple of days that we have been staying at our aunt's house. I think the next day because the first
It
night
was the
we had
next
to
day.
sleep on the yeah, we had to sleep on the floor, and I was like sleeping on my jacket, like a mattress, because we didn't have one.
Oh my god.
And it was so cold,
It
and
was
I
so
slept with
fucking
the
cold.
lights on because I was like nervous and it was cold and it's just like a mess. And then the next day I woke up and I think I just had chills for the next day, and that was also the day that Erica's friend gave us donuts.
Oh
Was that the
yeah.
same day, or is that
I think
different?
a couple days later.
Okay. Well, yeah, I was feeling chills, I would say, and then had, I think that's it. Just had chills for the first few days, and um, then when Erica's friend gave us donuts, I ate one, and that's when I started having a dry cough, and it was just like in my throat, like I had like phlegm from eating something sweet, and then after that, in the middle of the night, I would have like really like sweating happening, and I think I had a fever, but we didn't have a thermometer to check. So we had to buy a thermometer, and like by the time we got it, I didn't have those symptoms anymore. But yeah, I'm pretty sure it was a fever, like in the middle of the night. It was mainly just cold and flu symptoms for me. So I had like a runny nose and like stuffy nose, kind of, the coughing, dry cough, and then a fever. Well, I think it was fever. That lasted about like 4 days, I would say. And once I started to feel better, I was like, okay, wow, yeah, I was sick. Like,
Yeah,
like it was kind of bad. And I was like, okay, like, yeah, like that was like pretty bad, like 4 days that I had. And I think it was a few days after we were there. So we came there on Monday, Sunday, and then on Wednesday was when we got tested again, because that's when we were feeling chills. And I'm not sure what symptoms you had, Erica, but I was like having chills and a bit of like a sore throat. And then we found out it was COVID too.
Yeah, so we like tested negative, and then we moved out, and then we got symptoms, and then we tested again, and then we tested positive. So we're just like, it's kind of
Hmm.
crazy how it is very
Close it
contagious.
was.
Yeah,
Yeah.
how close it was and contagious it was. But also like I'm skeptical. I feel like, how did I
It's
test
so weird that it's so
positive?
contagious, but at the same time, I didn't get anybody sick,
Mhm.
which was so strange because me and Edlin like shared a drink when we were out tobogganing,
Yeah.
and that was a couple days before I got sick. And even my mom didn't get sick from me somehow, but she was like eating my
Mhm.
leftovers like the day before that week, and like
Mhm.
no one else got
So
sick from like my
weird.
work. So I'm like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's so contagious, but it's also not.
Like maybe
I
you
Yeah.
don't
had a
know.
different strain or
Variant.
something.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Maybe I
'Cause
had like the regular COVID and you guys had a variant because yours was like worse than mine too.
yeah, it like
And so
spread
much
so
more
fast.
contagious. Yeah.
Mhm.
It's so
Very
strange. I don't
weird.
know.
Yeah, because if you shared a drink, Edlin was negative after that, so we
Yeah, that's
definitely
why I
Mhm.
was like
caught it.
super worried about when I like told
Yeah.
you guys because I was like, I was at your house. I was like, I almost
Yeah.
slept over too. Like, and me and
Mhm.
Edlin like literally swapped salivas during that drink. So it's like,
Yeah, and you're
how?
like laying on my bed and like borrowed some like clothes and stuff
Yeah, it
too.
just
Yeah.
doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
really weird. And like the whole weekend that we were waiting for test results after we heard about you, like I felt completely fine. Like I had
Yeah.
no symptoms, nothing. And then it
Yeah.
was only
Yeah.
till when we left the house was when I like started feeling something.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. For me, for me, I got hit.
Yeah.
Very
That was a
opposite from us.
freaking piñata, you know,
Yours
dangling
lasted
and
a
getting
long
hit
time.
by kids.
Yeah.
Mine lasted like a month and a half, like
Oh,
my
wow.
symptoms. Yeah. So anyway, that night that we were sleeping on the floor, it was very cold, and it's just like a strange. It's I don't know how to describe it. You know what I'm saying? What
It's
is
like
it?
a little uncomfortable and like
Hmm.
you're
Yeah,
not
when you're
sleepy, like you
sleeping,
don't feel the same.
exactly. Yeah, when
Yeah.
you're just
And
at an
the whole
unfamiliar. Oh,
house was
sorry.
like empty too.
Yeah,
So like I
yeah,
think that's why it was so cold.
That's
yeah,
extra weird too.
yeah.
Yeah.
No
I'm just not used to
furniture.
seeing the place like that too.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Um. So, anyways, I woke up. I had chills. I had body aches and stuff. Yeah, we got tested. I got I got every single symptom pretty much. Like I had severe headaches. Like there, and it was my first week of school, like first semester of school. So we moved out. It was my first day of school, and I'm like, how the fuck am I gonna go to school if I'm like, I didn't even know if I had COVID because we were waiting for test results too. So yeah, bad headaches. I couldn't barely look at a screen, and school's online, so I had to. I would be like super dehydrated. I remember I would nap like all the time and be falling asleep and having to wake up for class. And then I remember I was in class and I was like, I realize it now that I was damp. I don't know if that's I just like felt really sweaty and damp.
Oh.
And then I was drinking so many fluids during that class. Like I had my camera on because my friends were like, "Oh yeah, let's have all of our cameras on." And I didn't know I had COVID at the time, and I'm just like, like
Oh
just like drinking so much.
my.
And thinking about it now, I'm just like, oh damn. But I was very fatigued. Like there was one time I took a shower I got out of the shower, was brushing my hair, and I fell asleep like brushing my hair. And I was just so like my body was so tired. I couldn't really do much and I had to do stuff, so it was kind of like difficult. Um I had like one maybe like 4 or 5 days I was blowing my nose. The kind that you blow I think I used a whole roll of toilet paper.
Oh my god.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
like
I think you did.
my whole room was just like, when you're and then you just toss it and you're like you just like all toilet paper everywhere. I had Vicks. Yeah, lots of toilet paper. I was coughing for at least a month and a bit, I would say. And it
That's
was like
crazy.
to the there was an assignment I had to do and it was a video assignment. So I had to speak
Wow.
about like do a elevator pitch. It's like, how the hell am I gonna record this elevator pitch? So the way I record it, I would speak one sentence and record that. And then I would like and then I
Oh
speak
my
another sentence.
gosh.
So I'd have to do it sentence by sentence. And then I combined everything as one video. And you know what's funny? That the video didn't even get marked because our professor got fired. So anyways,
Wait,
Oh my
what? Why
god.
did they get
that's like
fired?
that's a whole other story. I know. What else happened to me? There is so Matt dropped us kanji and I was so cold and didn't bring enough sweaters. But I was like, can you like bring me sweaters and sweatpants and stuff like that? So he brought me some and then I wanted to smell his scent. So I was like, and I couldn't smell anything. Like it was
Oh.
just the strangest thing. Like I couldn't like it's just nothing, no scent. So like
Yeah.
I'm like trying my hardest to have any type of scent and nothing. And I was like, oh
Yeah.
my god, like what is happening? And then I noticed I didn't have any taste either because I was craving churros, I think, at one point.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was craving churros. And I was just like, okay, cool. Edmund and I bought churros from this like Mexican, I think it's bar
Mhm.
burrito. I ate it
Mhm.
and it just tasted like bread. Like it didn't taste like
It was
That's
so
so
funny.
sad.
It was it was so funny because I feel like the next few days I was kind of like letting you try things. I was like, oh, like what about this? Like, can you taste it?
I
And
was Edlin's test rabbit, like test hamster. She's like,
I was
what
like
about
nervous that
today? Yeah.
yeah,
Like, how
I was
does this
nervous that I
chocolate
was
taste like
going
today? Yeah.
to.
Edlin,
Yeah,
did
I
you lose
couldn't.
your taste or smell?
I didn't, but thinking back at it, I lost like appetite. I didn't really eat for the
Mm.
first week.
Yeah,
Oh.
I
yeah,
didn't really,
same.
yeah, I didn't really eat at all because I was just like sick and stuff.
Mhm.
Um,
Yeah,
and then I noticed that I would like make a bunch of food and I would just like leave it. Like it would just be
yeah.
sitting in
I
my room.
had that. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I remember I went to sleep one time and I woke up and my mattress was wet. So I've never sweated that much that my mattress got wet. Cause then I was wearing, I had my
Layers.
sweatpants, I had layers on layers. So it sweated through the layers to the mattress. I'm like, that was
Whoa.
freaking gross. I had to wash all my sheets yeah, my pillow and everything was so wet. It's weird, man. I thought I peed myself for a second.
That's
Yeah,
what it
but
sounded like at first. I was like, what?
yeah, no, it wasn't pee. Yeah, I know it wasn't pee at all. Anyways, sorry. Yeah, I had a lot of symptoms. I think, am I missing anything? Chills, yeah, cough. I think I had a couple people that would call me and I'm like, like I just couldn't. I would just mute myself or be like, what do I say if I'm coughing like crazy? Because I mean, there's only one other really excuse at the moment. I'm just like, yeah, I got COVID. But yeah. Oh, I had diarrhea too. I had the runs a
Oh.
lot. So I think I had it
Mm,
for like 2, 3 weeks. I would just, like not poop solids.
damn.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh. I didn't know yours lasted that long, like everything.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. My eyes,
What
I
about your
couldn't,
breathing?
my breathing was okay. I think it was mostly anxiety and like borderline panic attacks that I was having.
Mhm.
Um, that I thought I was like, oh my God, I need to go to the hospital, like, but you're just like
Mhm.
overthinking it type of thing. So those are
Yeah.
my
Yeah,
symptoms.
my breathing too is okay. I
Yeah.
have like asthma like Charlene. And I was
Yeah.
worried as well that I would like get some sort of like, I don't know, like weakness and like not breathing. But
Yeah.
I think for me too, like just in the middle of the night one time, like I would just like wake up and felt or had a dream that like someone was pressing against my chest. And then I'd wake up and be like, like, oh my
Yeah.
gosh, like I'm okay.
Yeah.
But
Very.
what the heck?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
know. It's crazy. But yeah, Charlotte, like how was your quarantine week like? Because if one of you can explain what the process is like when you get tested positive for COVID, because I think that's also another thing.
Mhm.
So I went and got my results 2 days after, and I think I saw it on. I woke up that it was a Friday morning, and I checked my phone for it because I was checking like all the freaking time, and I saw that it was positive. So that's when I like told everyone. I told my mom that morning. I called
Mhm.
my work, and I was like, I can't come. Like I'm positive. My mom called her work, and she obviously had to quarantine with me, but like separately. So I just stayed in my room and used my bathroom, and that was it. I didn't even like go downstairs or anything. And then a couple hours later is when public health called me, and they just said like all the different things, like this is when your quarantine will end. I think it was like 10 days is what they give you. Well, 10 days or until like you don't feel any symptoms anymore. Um, and then you get like the email with all this stuff that like you need to like just monitor, or like what you should do, like tell all the other people. And then I gave my work's name too, because they were like it could have been from there, but they didn't contact them. They were like focusing on outbreaks, so they didn't call them because my work's like a tiny place, it didn't even count. Um, and then yeah, I was in quarantine. I stayed longer than I should have because I wanted to wait until I was like 100%, and I also didn't want to work. So um yeah, that's how my situation was when I first got it and tested positive.
What did you do during your quarantine?
So what did I do? I watched a lot of Netflix. Um, my mom was just bringing me my breakfast, lunch, and dinner. My work was nice enough, or my old boss was nice enough to be like, "Hey, you can order whatever you want for like Uber Eats for you and your mom," because he knows like we can't leave our house.
Mhm.
Um,
Mhm.
we got a lot of food given to us from like my aunt and stuff, which was nice. And I had Callie. I just played with her, left my door open for her, and she'd come in, and I just like play with
Mhm.
the toy for her. What else did I do? That was kind of it. I really didn't do much. It was
Mhm.
really boring, but I'm happy
That's good.
I had like, I had all regular sleep. Like everything was pretty normal for me. So,
Mhm.
yeah, just stayed in my
That's
room
good.
basically.
That's good. Yeah.
Yeah. What about you guys?
Yeah, Edlin, did you wanna say, like, how it was, like, when public health called and all that kind of stuff? Mhm. Um, so yeah, we got tested and then I think it was 2 days later as well that public health called and we got a result. They called me from the Peel Public Health because my address is under Mississauga, obviously. And then since I was in Halton region, they asked me like, oh, like all those questions that you were asked to, like, oh, like where were you, like where'd you get it, and blah blah blah. And one of the like things that I told them was that I wasn't staying at home, like I was in like Milton. And they were like, "Oh, okay. Well, I can't talk to you anymore. I need to give you to the Halton region, like public
Interesting.
health." And I was like, "Oh, okay." I was like, "Oh, like what's the difference or whatever?" But I guess because like I'm staying there, that like the people around us or whatever, I'm not sure. But it's not like we left anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah, so they had to like stop our conversation and I had to wait for the Halton Public Health to call me. So
Mhm.
so then when they called me, they just asked me the same questions. The only difference was like the paper that they sent me was just looked different, but it had the
Mhm.
same things on it, like when your release date is and what you had to do and all those things. I was working from home, so I didn't even had to like tell my work or anything. There was like an option for me to have like a few weeks off, but I just worked through it. Yeah, I was just like tired, but I was still able to work. And
Mhm.
like looking back at it now, I had to like complete some forms, and I was like still learning how to do those forms, and like I did a few of them wrong. But like it was fine. Like I was able to like fix it, but like thinking
Mhm.
back on it, like maybe I should have just took time off. So
Yeah.
if anyone listening has the opportunity to take time off, like just do it. Like
Yeah.
yeah, like
Yeah.
for me, yeah. Like for me, like I had the chance, but I was just like in an in an unfamiliar place, and everything was just weird and like uncertain, and I was like the only thing I can do is just like work and like
Mm.
Mhm.
try to have some sort of normalcy happening. And
Mhm.
yeah, so yeah, I wish I kind of took time off, but it's fine.
Yeah.
Um, what else happened after that? So yeah, public health called, and we didn't spread it to anyone else because we were quarantining already, like since we found out Friday before that when Char told us. So
Mhm.
I think our grandparents got tested because um, Erica saw them, but other than that, like no one was really affected. Um, during my quarantine time, like yeah, I would just like try to work, and I would like take naps like during work sometimes. But also my symptoms only lasted like 1 week pretty much, and then after that, for the rest of the month, I would say that I was just like tired and like couldn't really focus much. So
Mhm.
I would just watch Netflix too, and I what else did I do? I feel like I couldn't really do much. I just watched Netflix. I know Erica went out on a few walks, but I didn't have like boots really, and so I would just stand out on the balcony because they had a balcony. So sometimes I would just like hop out and just like chill there for like 5 minutes
That's nice.
to get like fresh air. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, and I feel like I have another thing to say. I forgot. Yeah, I think that's pretty much all I did during the quarantine part. Just like tried to work, and we FaceTimed like our parents and like our family a lot. Um, yeah, and that's pretty much all I did. And I just really wanted to go home like by the end of it.
Mhm. Yeah, just
And it
have a
was
bed.
like, mm-hmm. And it was like my
Oh.
birthday coming up too, like early February. So it's just like I
Mm.
just all I want for my birthday is to be home and healthy and for my family to be healthy.
Yeah.
Yeah. And what about you, Erika?
I think like going off of that call when you had it and you had to like switch. I think you what's that called? In conference called me with the
Yeah.
person who yeah, Edline conference called me with the person because so
Dead.
Peel Health called me and they approved me and they were just like, okay, cool, like here's your documents and stuff. I'm like, okay, thanks, bye. And then
Yeah,
I
I
told
think
Edline
they
like,
called you first.
yeah, they
And
called me first.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
that's why I
And
wasn't
then
expecting to be transferred.
yeah, and Edlin got
Um,
transferred. So Edlin three-wayed me and the person that was Peel Health and was like, "Oh yeah, like blah blah blah." So you got approved? And I was like, "Yeah." I think that was the only question she asked. And then they're like, "Oh, that's not supposed to happen."
yeah.
Oh, and you said you were staying in Milton, and they just were like, "Well,
Yeah, yeah. I
huh."
told the lady I was like, "Yeah, like blah blah blah, staying in Milton." And I think the lady made a mistake and just gave me the papers. And then because she called me back after she sent me the email, and she's like, "Oh wait, like what's your Milton address?" And I was like, "Oh, here it is." And then she's like, "Okay, bye." I was like, "Okay."
And she's like,
Awkward.
"Oops, I
Yeah.
fucked up."
And I whoop.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure that she's like, "Oops, oh my gosh." But yeah.
Oh,
Hopefully she's still there. She was very nice.
you got one Halton and one Peel, like
Yeah.
one of
Pretty
each.
much.
Yeah.
Yeah. But what did I do? Yeah, pretty much my call and stuff is all like the same as yours. And then the Monday, so we quarantined we found out on the Friday that Charlene was positive, and we tested Friday, Saturday, and then quarantined in the weekend. And then when we found out we were negative on Sunday, I believe, or Monday, and then since I was looking after my grandparents, I went to go look after them on Monday. And then we found out my dad was positive Monday night, and that's when we moved out. So then we got the symptoms on Tuesday. So from that, I was like, oh shit, I need to go tell my grandparents. And that was just a whole other stressor again.
Yeah.
Because
I didn't know it was that close.
Our grandma, like, she's like, I'm gonna die anyways. I don't want to get it. It's gonna hurt my nose and like all this stuff. I don't know. Did you know that, Char?
No.
Oh yeah,
she
she's
was
like
hesitant.
she was so stubborn that your dad had to force her to take her test and all this stuff. And it's like Ninang Mai called me, and she was so frustrated because she fought with Nanai and Tatay fought with Nanai, and she's like, Nanai, just get it, like you have to get
I
it.
feel like I kind of do remember that actually.
Yeah, so that was happening, and that was also very stressful because it's like you don't want your grandma saying like she's gonna die soon. But she always says it. So
yeah, she's been saying that.
Yeah, she's 95. She's been saying it for like 5
she's
years.
92.
92.
I thought she's not 95.
She's not 95.
My bad. Well, she's older.
She's old.
She's in her 90s.
Yeah, she's in her 90s. So yeah, that happened. I started school, so that happened too. And then I was doing the podcast as well. I was doing locals and I was doing freelancing. And it's just so funny thinking about it because it's just like, what a fucking shit show. So yeah, I was doing a lot. and I remember the call with the Peel Health lady. She's like, oh, like, are you working? Like, what are you doing? Blah, blah, blah. I'm like, yeah, like, I'm working. I'm at school. Like, you know, she's like, oh, like, take it easy. Like, you can just take time off. I'm like, like, I don't think I can take really time off, you know, like, okay. So yeah, I had to,
yeah, both of us were just like, what is that? We're just work.
Yeah, I had to figure out, like, I had to extend an assignment, which I never do. Like, I usually just get shit done. But yeah, I had to like message some of my profs and tell them that I have COVID, and it was just a lot slower for me because I couldn't look at a screen. So when people are like, oh, like, enjoy your time, watch Netflix, like, rest, I'm like, I can't even watch Netflix. Like, my eyeballs hurt. Like, I couldn't stare at a screen at all. But for at least the first 3 weeks, I would say it was very hard for me to, like, I could look at it, but I had eye drops, so I was putting eye drops a lot, and I was putting Vicks a lot, but I couldn't smell the Vicks, so it was like, yeah, that's good. And Vicks is strong. Vicks is so strong. Like, I would put it here on my nose, on my chest, like everywhere, and I'm like, I don't smell nothing.
You don't even like feel it, like nothing.
Yeah, like the menthol thing.
Wow. I drank the tea that we brought. So Edline and I brought like a shit ton of tea, and I was drinking tea every single day, and it was the tea I hated, and I didn't realize that I couldn't taste or smell, and I was like, you know, I'm like, oh shit, I don't taste anything. That's why I drink. Yeah, that's why I drink. Yeah, so I was like doing a lot and trying to not do a lot because I had to rest to recover. What else did I do? I went on walks, and you know when you go for a walk and you want to like inhale the fresh air, couldn't really do that. I was like, yeah. So like, I went on walks because I had boots, and I forget what else I did. I had a lot of people reach out. And Edlin, you probably wanted to share your story as well, but I had a lot of people reach out and was just everyone was so kind and like dropping off gifts and dropping off food and giving Ubers and just messaging me every day to just see how I was doing and stuff. So yeah, I'm just very grateful that I have friends that I have friends that like really care and stuff. And Char, you too, you came over a couple times, like got groceries and like gave us Tim Hortons. So
I know the struggle, so I had to.
Yeah, Ed and I were struggling because we had to order delivery. Where you get delivery? What's that called?
Instacart.
Instacart, yeah. We were doing Instacart for a bit, and we would get like like a toilet brush or soap or something. Like we were ordering stuff that you would get when you move in because we
Brought the
everyone
toilet
else
brush.
was there. Yeah, yeah, that you got the toilet brush. Char. That was a good toilet brush. I wanted to bring it home, but I was
I
like,
got one for
no.
myself too when I saw it. I was like,
It's a
these are
nice one.
good.
Yeah,
And it had like an extra thing at the top so you could like get in
right.
there.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Walmart.
Mhm.
It was only
So
$5 too.
right. Yeah, I think it was just a lot of figuring out what we Edlin and I would like meal prep based on I was on Serve and Edlin was like on your co-op extension, I believe. Yeah,
Yeah.
so we're like, okay, how are we gonna delegate our food? Like we were like in college. Like that's how it felt like.
Yeah,
And
literally.
Budgeting.
yeah, we're budgeting. And we would eat together, but we would eat like we didn't have furniture. We each had a table and a foldable table and a foldable chair. And we would just
Yeah.
carry it around all over the house. We'd be like, dinner time to work,
Yeah.
time to chill. Like, it was just so funny.
No.
Your portable living space.
Yeah. It was,
We also had to like figure out the internet situation because there's literally
that
nothing
was
there.
another stress. Yeah.
Yeah, like the next day, I think Erica, you tried to call Rogers or
I
Fido.
called, yeah. And apparently in Milton, they only have Cogeco. They don't have Rogers, right? So then I set up an appointment for someone to install internet for like $70 for the month. I was like, that's not that bad. Like we can split it. But then I
Yeah.
was like, how does it work? Because I have COVID and I was telling like the internet people and they were saying, oh, you can cancel after the first month and just no fees or whatever. And I was like, okay, cool. So we got that all set up. But then Edlin, if you wanted to share that part.
Yeah, like we got there Monday night and then Tuesday morning when I woke up and stuff and I had work and we had a team meeting at like 10:30 and I was like at this point like mentally I was a mess. So in my team meeting, like first thing in the morning I messaged my manager and I was like I've been updating her this whole time like what's been happening and like the last thing I told her was, "Oh, yay, we're negative."
Oh,
Because literally the day, like on
Yeet.
Monday, we were negative.
Skirt.
Yeah, and then on Tuesday, I'm like, oh, we're oh wait no, that wasn't the
Thursday.
same time. Yeah, on Thursday I was like, oh, we're positive, but on Tuesday I was like, yeah, my dad, he's positive, and we had to move and. Like we're living on my aunt's house, my internet might be bad because I'm just like going off my phone data right now. And she was like, "Oh my gosh, like I'm so sorry to hear." And then she was able to get me a work phone sent to
Oh, wow.
Milton. And I was like, "Oh my gosh, like are you sure? Like that's so nice because like as a co-op, you don't get a phone, you just get the laptop." And then she was like, "Yeah, like anything to do to like help. Like I don't want your data bill or like for you guys to be paying for internet and like you're not even living there and all these things." So yeah, she
Oh,
was
that's so
able to
nice.
she was able to get that set up for us and we were able to hotspot from the work phone.
Sam.
Yeah. It was a Samsung, so we called my phone Sam.
Thank you, Sam.
Yeah, my new work phone, I named it Sam as well in honor of
Oh,
in honor of my old phone.
OG.
But we actually had two phones because my coworker, she found out about like my dad's situation and stuff, and all my coworkers put together like a gift basket and
Aw.
she lended me her phone. And I was like, what the heck? Like you didn't have to give me your phone, but thank you. And that was because like we got my work phone like at the end of the week. So she was like, "Oh yeah, like I'm not even using it, like just like use it for data and stuff." So we used that, and then once we got my other work phone, I just like gave that to Erica, and she just used that, and we had like our own phones to
Nice.
hotspot.
Yeah. We
Yeah.
looked at the data after and it was like 400 gigs or something. Like it
Oh my god.
Yeah.
was a lot of gigs. It's so
It's
funny.
pretty crazy.
Yeah.
So I don't know how high their bill was, but thank you. Thank you, Ontario
But
government.
thank you. Bye.
I'm done.
Yeah, with that situation, it was just, like, crazy and, like, so grateful as well that people were able to support us and,
Mhm.
help us. Yeah, so thank you so much, Charlene and Edlin, for being part of the podcast, and for those who are listening, stay tuned for part 2 that will be coming out in a couple of days for the rest of our COVID experience.